Yo, what's going on, dudes? Alright, I am so happy to announce that I am officially in Kabam's content creator program. So what that means is that each month they're going to be sending me champs before release to test them out and give feedback and make some videos for you guys to take a look at, so that you can get some early thoughts on the champ before you either go for him in arena or buy some crystals for him. But because of that, I am required to give a big disclaimer that I don't work with Kabam or Marvel. I'm not associated with them in any way. And I only have this champ for a limited time. I can't use them in Arena, AQ, AW, or any quest that I haven't already completed. And they're taking this guy back in a couple of days. So with that being said, first up we have a very early access look at Longshot. Alright, so let's jump right into talking about this guy today. So first up, we're going to be talking about his SIG ability. Now, when he was granted to me, he came in at SIG 200, completely maxed out. So I'm not sure how exactly this scales with his SIG, but I can tell you that at SIG 200, there's a 60% chance for any buff that's activated on the opponent to automatically be nullified and turned into bad karma. Now, if it's a true strike buff, or unblockable, or unstoppable, Longshot gains one of those buffs for 7 seconds. That's potentially really useful in content like Alliance War, like on Path 4 in Section 1, or Path 5 in Section 2. So Longshot's kind of like this male version of Domino, right, where he has a luck mechanic, okay? So, because of that, Longshot's base ability accuracy is 300%. And that 300% can only be modified by debuffs. Now that's also very useful in certain situations. Alright, so now that the passive stuff is out of the way, let's go over the basic idea of Longshot before we jump into how exactly you want to make it happen. So, the basic idea of Longshot is that essentially you want to build up good karma and then convert that good karma on yourself into bad karma on the opponent, and then convert that bad karma into insane passive damage. And you basically want to do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So let's talk about all the possible ways to gain good karma. Number 1, getting hit. Either in the face or on the block, there is a 51% chance to gain good karma when you get hit. You can't get any good karma if you're stunned. In fact, there's actually a 75% chance to lose good karma if you get hit while you're stunned. Now there's a 102% chance to gain good karma while dexing. Now if there are multiple movements in a special attack, you're able to gain as much good karma as the bits in the attack. So that's how you get your good karma. Now finally, heavy attacks will grant multiple good karma buffs on yourself every 0.4 seconds that you're charging a heavy. Now when you hit the opponent with the heavy, there are 2 hits to it, and you'll put 2 bad karmas from your good karma bank onto the opponent. Does that make sense? It's kind of confusing, but I promise it makes sense. Now, that's the perfect time to start talking about bad karma. Now for each bad karma active on the opponent, you're going to be gaining 12% of the power that they yield. That's a pretty substantial amount. At 5 bad karma, that's 60%. So let's talk about all the ways to rack up that bad karma. Well, for starters, like I said, you're going to get 2 from every heavy attack as long as you have 2 good karmas in the bank. Like I said earlier, there's a 60% chance for every buff activated on the defender to automatically be nullified and then turned into 1 bad karma. Similar to the heavy attack, the special 1 converts 2 good karma into 2 bad karma. Now when you reach 5 good karma, you're going to activate what's called Pure of Heart. Now Pure of Heart simply just adds some more special effects onto your special attacks, okay? So Pure of Heart activates when you reach 5 good karma. This is very easy to do. It can't be stacked, but it can be refreshed as much as you want. Now this Pure of Heart, it has a timer of 14 seconds. When that timer runs out, all of the good karma currently on yourself that's about to fall off is going to be placed as bad karma onto the opponent. Now, this is potentially a very interesting way to toss some bad karma onto the opponent in a potentially very useful kind of way. We'll talk more about that later. Now there are a couple ways to keep refreshing Pure of Heart. Like I said, when you're charging your heavy, you're going to be building your good karma, and when you hit them, you're going to be losing 2 good karma. So if you hit them with a heavy attack, and then parry, and then charge up your heavy attack again, your timer is going to refresh. Another very easy way is just to dodge some attacks, or take some hits on the block. Alright, so let's talk about this guy's special attacks now. So Longshot's special 1 is going to convert 2 good karma into 2 bad karma. Now by now, you should know how the karmas work. Now, one thing that's pretty cool about this attack is that it can't miss and it can't be auto-blocked, so it's potentially pretty useful for champs like Invisible Woman, Guillotine 2099, or Mcoc. Possibly Nova as well. Now remember Pure of Heart? That's when you reach 5 good karma. When you have Pure of Heart active, a rank 3 Longshot will do about 10,000 additional instant bleed damage. So because of that, you never really want to activate the special one when Pure of Heart is not active. Unless, in somewhat of an extreme example, Guillotine 2099 has you up against your own corner, okay? It's a debuff immune mini-boss, you have 1 bar of power, and she's currently phasing. So you toss the special one to get her out of your face. It can't miss, you're back in the fight. Again, that's a very extreme example, but nonetheless, it's possible. So when do you want to use the special one? You want to use the special one in stun immune matchups when you want to quickly build bad karma on the opponent and you can't easily counter their heavy with yours. Now in other places where you want to use the special one is against incinerate immune champions who aren't bleed immune. So for example, like Sunspot or Void. Now for a champion like Colossus, you would need the Mojo Synergy to turn the bleed damage into degen damage. We'll talk about synergies later. And like I said earlier, you could also use the special one as a desperation move to save yourself in very extreme circumstances. But otherwise, you're going to be getting more bang from your buck out of the special 2. So now with that being said, let's talk about Longshot's ridiculous, absolutely overpowered, insane special 2. So like many champions in the game, Longshot's special 2 is just a moneymaker. Longshot's special 2 inflicts a very weak incinerate debuff on the opponent for 12 whole seconds. But that little incinerate debuff also inflicts a fate seal, nullifying all buffs and bad karma. Now each of those buffs and bad karma are going to spontaneously combust over 1 second, dealing a ridiculous amount of energy damage. Only up to 10 stacks at a time, and this is just at rank 3. Now the Fate Seal lasts for the length of the Incinerate, which is 12 seconds. So any buff or bad karma activated on the opponent while the Fate Seal is still active is going to spontaneously combust into huge damage. Now if Pure of Heart is active when you activate the special 2, the Incinerate and Fate Seal effects are going to activate when you start the animation. But the timer is going to be paused until the special 2 is over. Now this is potentially useful against champs with nodes like Resistor, who would possibly gain more buffs during the length of the special attack. So you'll end up getting a bit more passive energy damage before the Fate Seal runs out. Now, I honestly don't see this Pure of Heart effect to be as crucial as the special 1 is. However, Pure of Heart is incredibly easy to activate, and I don't necessarily see a reason why if you're using a Longshot, you won't have it up throughout the majority of the fight anyway. So like I said, these passive stacks have a max stack of 10. So against champions with 10 or more buffs, you can theoretically activate this attack with 0 bad karma on the opponent and yield the same effects as having 5. But if we were to use a Longshot against a champion with no buffs, you need to make sure that you have 5 bad karma activated on the opponent before you launch this attack. And preferably, you brought the Rogue Synergy along to help, for a 42% chance to convert every passive Incinerate into a second one. So with perfect luck, you'll end up with 10. Now here's where it gets interesting. If you activate the special 1 after the special 2 while the Fate Seal is still active and you have at least 2 good karma on yourself, you can convert those good karmas into bad karma and watch them instantaneously combust, once again dealing massive energy damage. So following up the insane special 2, we have a pretty tame special 3. Basically what you have to know is that this attack stuns the opponent for 3.5 seconds. If Pure of Heart is active, Longshot gains up to 1265 attack rating based on the amount of good karma that you currently have. So there's actually some pretty interesting things that you can do with this. But it's also a little impractical outside of content like Realm of Legends where the special 3 is not activated. I'll show you what I mean though. So as you can see here, the special 3 just ended. I'm doing a 5-hit combo, a double medium, and going into another combo straight into the special 2. I'm going to purify those bad karmas and put that Fate Seal on him. Now if you look at mine, my good karma is about to fall off. Those get converted to bad karmas, so that's a total of 10 bad karmas on a Winter Soldier after the special 3. Now obviously he would have killed me with the special 3 if it was activated, but for Winter Soldier and Realm of Legends, it is not. Alright, so now we're going to go over some of the synergies that we'll find for Longshot. Now in this video, I'm only going to be talking about synergies that benefit LONGSHOT, because I have a couple other videos that I want to make with some of these synergies. So first up, we have Civil War Stories. Now this one is with LONGSHOT, Cap Infinity War, and OG Cap. Now this one lets you start the fight with 5 good karma when fighting villain champions. So that means you can pretty much start with Pure of Heart if you're fighting a villain. Now this synergy is certainly useful and it could potentially make some fights go faster, but it's absolutely not needed for anything. So while it's definitely nice to have, feel free to leave your Captain Americas at home. Now up next we have Mojoverse. Now this is with the character Mojo, who's being released 2 weeks after LONGSHOT. Now if you're planning to use LONGSHOT for a champion like Colossus, who's immune to bleed and immune to incinerate, you absolutely 100% need this synergy to do some degen damage with the special one. Now we have what I call LONGSHOT's Saber-Tooth Synergy. I call it that because it's kind of like how when you're playing with Omega Red, you drag Saber-Tooth along everywhere that you go. What this synergy does for LONGSHOT is that when you're fighting champions that don't have a surplus of buffs, it allows you the possibility to potentially have up to 10 passive incinerates with your special 2. This opens up a bunch of doors for LONGSHOT and allows him to take fights that you might not want to bring a champion that relies on buffs to. So in my opinion, the Rogue synergy is without a doubt LONGSHOT's most important, although it's still not needed. Now finally we have a synergy called Probably OP. Now what this does is it allows Pure of Heart to last 4 seconds longer. Now, don't get me wrong, while that's certainly useful and very much so appreciated, Pure of Heart is already 14 seconds long, and it can refresh with just about 1 heavy attack. So while that 4 seconds is nice to have, you absolutely don't need this synergy either. But it can easily take the pressure off when you're trying to refresh that Pure of Heart. And I mean, hey, Domino's like a pretty good champ, right? So, like, what's the verdict? Do I like this guy? Do I think he's good? Is he just a novelty piece? Listen, I think LONGSHOT is an absolutely fantastic addition to the game. Not just the game, but also the Mystic class as a whole. His raw damage potential from the Special 2 in the correct matchup is absolutely mind-boggling. The fight that you're watching right now is a rank 3 champion making Act 6.3 look like Act 5. I absolutely love the character design. I love how he only has 4 fingers just like he does in the comics. The animations look great, they feel fluid, the Special 3 is hilarious, and honestly, while his abilities may seem complicated, he's actually incredibly easy to play. Parry, heavy, parry, heavy, Special 2. And then, a rank 5 LONGSHOT in the right matchup, the fight's probably going to be over, and if it's not, just repeat it. So yeah guys, this video is going to be uploaded on Sunday, February 9th, and I have this guy for 2 more days, so if there's anywhere that you're just dying to see LONGSHOT perform in Marvel Contest of Champions, write a comment below and I will consider making a video for it. But before this guy gets taken away from me, I have a couple more videos that I want to make, featuring this guy and champions that he synergizes with. So my friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, give it a comment, please subscribe for more. That's going to be all from me. I'll see you around.